Never stop dreaming. 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 Never stop Never stop Never stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming.
Okay, we're just going to have a look at the recent evolution of affordable night vision. I probably started over 6 years ago when people were buying lenses, reverse parking lens cameras, and making their own. This one was built by Dennis Naylor. I think he said he could build it for about 35-40 quid. So that gave you the ability to push it onto the back of the scope. It allowed you to actually see what you was doing in the dark. Not all of them had recorders on them. I don't think this one has. It just allowed you to do shooting at night without using lamps, because that's all that used to be available really. This one here, this is a spotter that he got. That's an infrared spotter. And the first evolutions seemed to come from pod, and they were like this one here. That's a pod, a clip-on. So you would get an attachment which are in the bag. Basically this is a one leaf attachment, but the same sort of thing. You basically line it up, clip it on, and it's got an infrared torch on it, 18650 battery in there. And the good thing with these, it did allow you to record, so you could pull that rubber tab back, and there should be memory card in there, so you could record to the card and record it back and play it back on TV. So a lot of the YouTubers thought that was a good idea, so you could see what you see through the scope. Now Eagle Vision did come out with an adapter to put a camera on, so you could do it that way as well in daytime. Other people, They even took the filters out of a normal camera, turned it into IR and just got a torch and was able to do it that way, which I did myself. Now one leaf tended to follow on with the pods, and the development from after the pod, basically I think it was onto the ATNs. Now the ATNs came out with a scope which looks more like a scope, and got a lot of options. You can record what you see, and they did come out with a laser rangefinder that you could put on it, and I think it had a digital calculator in it as well for calibrating your ammunition. So that was the next step. Then pod came out with a dedicated scope. One leaf, they continued development. So after they came out with the NV100, they then came out with the Rapid Plus, which was basically a dedicated optical scope, and it already had the attachment on it, so you could basically just mount your sight directly onto it like that. That gave you the ability then to record through an optical lens. Now after they'd got to that level, it then came out with the one leaf Commander NV400, which was more like a scope again. Difference this time, it's got a digital ballistic calculator in it and a rangefinder. So you put your information in and of your projectile and the speed, and then by pressing down on the cap, that set the laser and it pinged back and it set the reticle hold over for you. Around the same time, pod came out with this one. Same again, really nice one. That one had a rangefinder on it. It did have one with that, but that had a rangefinder on it, and you could also calibrate your ammunition. That would also range to target and set the reticle for you. Around 16 months ago, about a year last September, a company called Hitak came out. They did so well within 2 weeks and sold all the scopes out that an American company known as Arken, who was already into optics, actually bought the scope, and the first one that came out was the Arken Zulus, and this came out in a 5x20. This one also has a laser rangefinder on it, just there. Same again, calculator on it, pin to target. It sets the hold over or dial in method. After the 5x20, people wanted a more close-up range scope, so they came out with the Zulus 3x12, which is this one here. Looks exactly the same, just a different magnification. Now one leaf not standing around for long. After they designed the NV400, they then came out with the one leaf NV500, which is a more compact scope. And the good thing with this one, what they did, they basically did what they did with the NV200 binocular. It's fitted with different size lenses. So on this one you've got a 30mm lens. On this one I've got fitted the 50mm lens. You can get a 30 or 50 to fit either of the scopes. First one that came out was the Commander NV500, and then the NV500 Eagle came out. So the base magnification are different. So the Eagles is a lower base magnification, so these are more suited for close range work, depending on what lens you're using it, but both really effective. And around a year ago now, at the last SHOT Show, DNT came out with this, formerly Arken, it then changed to DNT, and they came out with the Therm Night scope, which is basically a multispectral scope. It's infrared and it's also thermal. So top lens is the infrared, the bottom lens is a thermal, so you've got two camera lenses on there. You can basically spot your target with a thermal, switch over to your IR to identify it and take the shot. Since this, less than a year later, they've now come out with the DNT 335 and 635, so bigger lenses, a lot clearer picture, but they are more expensive, but basically it was a bit of a game changer. Now some of these scopes belong to Dennis, such as the DNT and the PARD and the PARD bits and all the other bits on the end there. But what he was saying, that PARD actually came out with a multispectral scope themselves, and it came out in America first. It didn't come over to the UK till quite a bit later on. So he thinks that the PARDs came out with the multispectral before the DNT did. I'm not sure on that, but that's what he's telling me. But yeah, I've seen his multispectral one down at the range last night. Very similar to this one. You'll see a difference at the front there, but that is a multispectral one like the DNT. And then finally, One Leaf, always developing like DNT do. They came out with a dedicated thermal scope. Now they seem to be moving forward with the scopes now, so that all the scopes have got adjustable lenses, or you can basically add lenses to it. The one on at the moment is a 50mm lens. I've also got a 35mm lens, and they are coming out with a 70mm lens later in the year. But in just 6 years, we've basically gone from thermal and multispectral scopes all the way from this, a box camera basically that sticks on the end of your scope. And now some of these you'll find have got a big screen on top. Dennis has designed this one so there's no glare, so there's a back box on it. Switch it on, you might just about see it. See if you can see inside. So you can see that, you can see the nighttime glow in there. But that is basically that used to stick on the back of the scope, and you saw what you see through the scope. So that is how it all started, really. People transferring a normal camera into a night vision scope, because every digital camera has got a infrared filter on, so if you know what you're doing, you can take the camera apart, take the filter off, and then when you use a IR torch, it will shine up in the dark. This was one of the earlier spotting scopes in IR. Same sort of thing. I don't think that costed more than 60 quid. A lot of the parts you can get from AliExpress and Alibaba, those sort of places, but nowadays the prices have dropped down so much you don't need to. You can get like the DNTs, if you don't want the rangefinder on there, start from about just under 500 quid. With the rangefinder it's only about another £100, and then obviously the thermal, that does cost more, but a lot of people use things like this, which is still great, because if you've got a lot of rifles like this, all you need to do is put your attachments on the back of the scope, then you can clip this on any rifle you want then. So that will record night vision through any scopes as well as the One Leaf. So that's just a quick look at how night vision's developed over the last 6 years, really. I believe it's about 6 years since we was doing this kind of thing, and now it's become affordable thanks to the Chinese companies that's been developing scopes. So hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you soon.